It sounds like the friendship is on the line by removing yourself from the situation because you can either have that honest conversation and make sure they know that you love them and this has nothing to do with it versus then starting to avoid this person or get frustrated with this person when ultimately if it were me I would recognize I'm really just frustrated with myself for not owning up to what's really going
Yeah.
on and then the friendship suffers because I didn't own up and that sucks.
Hmm. And that's exactly right. I am frustrated with myself more than it is with the friend. And it's the people pleasing part of me that over the years a lot shows up a lot less, I'm happy to say. But it's still for people that I care about, I have a problem saying no and having that kind of honest discussion with.
Real women, real lives, real stories. This is the Ladies in Power podcast. Unfiltered, unscripted, and refreshingly authentic. We're not holding back, and maybe after this, neither will you. Let's go. We have lots of energy, and today we're talking about girlfriends and friendships and when they end, when they go away, how do we cope with that? What are some of the reasons they go away? And how do we deal with it?
I just wanted to share before they discuss their other ideas. I just jump in right now. Okay, fine. I'm going to start now. So I was having a talk with my kids, and they were just so into their friends, and friends are so important. And I'm going to get massive disagreement here, but I don't care. Anyways, this was the talk with my kids. I said, guys, don't be so worried about your friends. It's not like they're going to be there forever. You know, high school ends and you're going to go to university, you make new friends. It's not all about friends, what your friends are saying, what your friends are doing. And my kids are like, Mom, you're so negative. You're so negative. Why do you always talk about friends like that? Friends are going to be there forever. And that has not been my experience, okay? Like I have found friends at high school and then I thought it was never going to end and they went their own way and we never saw each other again. Then dental school, the girls were like so tightly knit and we thought we were never going to say goodbye and everyone grew and went their own way. Are you guys saying that but I heard Sandeep say she's got friends that she's had for 35 years. Like, what the hell? So I don't know whether I just can't keep friends or tell me about your experience.
Oh, I love that question. So, no, not 35 years. I think I was saying that I went recently on a girls' weekend away,
Yeah.
and the youngest friendship that I had out of the 9 women was a 25-year-old friendship. So, others I had known even my entire life, majority of them, my entire
Huh.
life, first year university since then. It's a long time, but we were family friends first.
Yeah.
So, it's not like two
Okay.
newborns found each
Okay.
other
Okay.
and, made their way to each other. It was, yeah, our families brought us together, and those bonds have continued. And we see them now in the third generation, which is our children, who are continuing that friendship over the third generation. So, right off the bat, I would say anything's possible. I don't believe that one answer fits all of us, but my experience is that yes, lifelong friendships are definitely possible. And they thrive and they're wonderful. And it's about what do we expect out of a friendship? And what do we put into a friendship? How do we define a friendship? All of those things really, I
Yeah.
think, make a difference on our experience.
How
How about you,
about you?
ladies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have so many questions.
Oh, an inquiring
I mean,
mind.
that was really great. How do you define a friendship? I mean, that's a great
Yeah,
question.
Yeah,
that is a
absolutely.
really good question.
Off the cuff, a friendship for me is one right off the bat in which there's ease. There's ease and there's a flow and there's an
Mhm.
understanding.
Mhm.
And I personally don't do well in friendships that have great expectations, where you are on kind of feeling like you're not measuring up or there's something you're falling short on. So I think it doesn't happen overnight for me. When I call someone a friend, it's because we've invested many, many, many hours talking, sharing, laughing. Perhaps we've gone through challenges together. So it's been tested too. It's not always just the good times and the partying. So right off the bat, those are some of the things that are coming to mind. And they're the ones that just stand the test of time. And what comes to mind as I'm speaking is a friend that I reconnected with when we both turned 50. And we had not seen each other.
Wait, you're 50?
Stop.
50?
I'm more than 50. I love you. We had connected after 25 years and had not talked really or seen each other, but we picked up the phone to wish each other 50th birthdays, greetings. And we spoke for about 4 to 5 hours about everything, openly, vulnerably. Nothing was off the table because we had established that kind of love and depth and regard for each other so early in our life. And that's a friendship that I know I can talk to her again another 25 years. I hope it doesn't take 25 years to reconnect, but we just have that level of understanding. So for me, that's the ease that I'm speaking about, that we don't have to check in on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. It's an understanding that we just love each other so much. And so, yeah, that's just an example that's coming to mind. But I love this conversation. Mm. Yeah. How about you ladies? How do you define a friendship and know that when one is fading?
I'd like to pivot just slightly because my grandfather in England, he's like, you should not have more than 5 friends. So that was drilled in us growing up.
I love
Grandpa's
that.
like, one for this, maybe one for this, but you should have no more than 5 friends ever. And that always stayed with me. I'm like, okay, how do we do this? Because I have tons of friends. I have tons of friends in high school and university and going to all the new places. I found that it was difficult to make friends when you move cities, especially when you're newly married and you go to a new city. I found that hard, but it turned out, your husband has colleagues and everyone has wives, and I made friends with wives, and then I ventured out. But I would like to say that one friend in university made such an impact on me. She and I were very similar, that I named my daughter after her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Her nickname was Billy, and her real name was Sunita. And when we had Sunita, I looked at her. My husband and I looked at her, and we're like, Sunita.
Aww.
And my friend Billy was so kind, so smart, and we were just always on the same rhythm. And so when it came to naming my children, I actually named one of my daughters after a dear friend.
She's still alive.
She is still alive. I haven't kept in touch with her.
Thing.
We lost touch because kids.
Yeah.
So busy, and I will figure out a way to get in touch with you, Billy.
Oh, that's lovely.
I would love to peel that back further, though. So
Okay.
Kind and smart.
Yeah.
What else? What else made her this friend that you named a daughter after?
Well, Billy and I were the ones that didn't drink. We were not big drinkers, so when we would go out, Billy and I would be the only ones who were like, okay, I'm not a drinker. You're not a drinker. I would be the one driving everyone. But we were on the same wavelength. We were a family of many kids. She had 2 sisters and a brother. And she and I went and watched an Indian show. We went and watched Akshay Kumar out in Toronto. One of the big Bollywood stars.
Okay.
Just very kind, very easy to talk to, just kind.
So what I'm hearing from both of you is that the friendships you made were either through families, that's why they lasted. Culturally, they were of the same culture as yourselves. And not only she was from South Asia, but she wasn't a drinker, which gave commonality. So, right. So that I understand, because the family thing, even if the friendship was lost because of family, you reconnect. But if there is no family connection, if it's, not another, like I'm Persian, if there wasn't another Persian, but maybe another culture, I find that makes it a little harder, because I was just sharing, we were at a South Asian event, and really how they are linked together, how they treat each other was so admirable. I was really taken back. The community is so supportive of each other that I can see why those friendships would last. Sandeep, it was clear that the community not only supports within the family, but outside and with friends. And unfortunately, and I don't want to offend my own community, but I don't see that as much in the Persian culture. Maybe it's not as many of us out there, or we're dispersed, but I just don't see it as much. Now, one thing I do want to say, Sandeep, or somebody asked, what is friendship to you? And to me, I would say I have those 5 friends that your grandfather was talking about, like literally, and we've been friends for over 35 or 40 years. Number one is trust. I got to be able to trust you. And if you're saying something that damages my family or my friendship with other people, that trust is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say anything. I am not the kind of person who come to you and say, why did you say it? But inwardly, you get a little kick and that's it. You go into the acquaintance box. And I have at least 1,000 people in the acquaintance
Right.
box, because people go, Masa, you have so many friends. What are you talking about? I don't. I have 5. So trust is first. Somebody that I can pour my heart out and know that that's not going to get out and it's not going to be advertised amongst other friends. And ease, like Sandeep was saying. Don't expect me. I'm not the best friend in the world. I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to have my shoulder there. But if you need me, I'll show up. It's not going to be casual, all the time, like show up for dinner, show up for this, show up. No, if I'm tired, I'm not going to show up. Unless you need me, unless you need a friend, unless your car is stopped somewhere, and then I'll get up and go. But if you just want to go for coffee and I don't have time and that upsets you, I'm not your guy, girl. I'm not your guy.
And so there's lacking the ease that we're talking about, right? The ease to just do what you need to do, and you have your friend be okay with it. And I just wanted to add on to what you heard me say about friendships. Yes, many have come because of the longstanding, our parents were friends, culturally, definitely. But that is definitely, I would never limit myself to calling someone a friend that just fits those boxes. For me, I look at the person's human qualities. And to me, it does not matter what culture, background, where they come from. It's the matching of values that I seek more than we have a commonality of the culture. So for sure, I want to make that very clear. My friends come from all sorts of backgrounds, and it's really important to me that I honor that the values are what matter. So that's really important for me to just do an add on to perhaps what I said earlier and what you heard.
And I think values is something you get from culture, isn't it? I mean, what you value, like yesterday when the speeches were come, value wasn't about money or who was making more money, which is unfortunately what's going on in the world. We are worshiping the billionaires. We are worshiping the Donald Trumps. We're worshiping the Joe Epsteins because they had money and not caring where that money come from. The talk yesterday was about contribution, human qualities, honesty, integrity, which is now so much lacking in our leaders, which I think comes from your background and what we value and what we say that is important to us, or honesty. So I get it. I guess I was just connecting the culture to those values. So let me ask you this. Do you have a white friend you've been friends with for 30 years?
I have Caucasian friends. I have Persian friends. I have Asian friends. I do.
Okay,
Yeah, I
baby.
do.
Right there, I got my answer.
Yeah.
So she's got a Persian friend. We're all good.
Yeah, lots of Persian friends. So no, I don't think of my friends based on their culture at all. Yeah.
Okay, Mika,
Yeah.
what about
Yeah,
you?
what
You've
about
been awfully quiet. I mean, what is going
'Cause we
on
keep
in
chatting
your
and-
head?
Let's give her a chance.
I know I'm enjoying this very, very much. I'm curious about what leads you to ending a friendship and how do you do that? Like that for me is the juicy part because okay, so friendships. Tony Robbins teaches us that friendships are usually proximity. We're in proximity with somebody and we build a friendship. We very rarely seek out somebody outside of our proximity based on values to become a friend. And I find that fascinating. Like dating sites for intimate relationships in, sexually intimate. Why are there not friendship sites for us to build friendships based on values um and joys, like things that we enjoy? For me, friendship is gotta be fun. There has to be an element of fun. If it's all serious all the time or it's always fixing, complaining, challenging, it's out of balance. So my friendships are, and I have friends that completely agree or disagree with me in many ways, and we don't share the same values in some ways. And yet that's some of the reason that they are friends, because I want to learn how the hell do you believe that? Tell me more about that. And then we see each other outside of that discussion and find that we have so much in common. Like my best friend, and this is something I learned from the traditional Chinese, my traditional Chinese healers, many of them have said to me, to say my best friend is very limiting. And I don't remember the exact word. It could be, it's insulting. Imagine if you were talking to somebody and you said, oh, my best friend, yada, yada, and they thought that they were your best friend. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be very hurtful.
Yeah.
So to say my great friend or one of my best friends, and I've taken that to heart. And a friend to me is someone who will love me even if we don't agree on things. And a friend to me is someone who I can really have fun with and be super stupid with and very vulnerable with and is still going to love me. So I basically said the same thing. My husband is my best friend for sure. One of my best friends. Okay. And I have childhood friends that I I grew up in a very underprivileged childhood, and some of my best friends are still living in that way. And yet we are so best friends because they have so much value to add to my world. So, yeah, also another thing in what makes a great friend for me is someone who's going to bring value to me and not value in. And I really loved how you said the 5 different things. And I'm like, okay, so that one friend is the non-drinker.
Yeah.
So do you have the drinker? Do you have the promiscuous one? And I want to know what 5. Let's tell you more about how do you name those 5. And I learned because as my life shifts and grows, I can get stuck in a way that things are supposed to be and that this way is better than this way. And then I catch myself often remembering where I came from and all the lessons that I learned and why I have such a big heart and why I can be so forgiving and compassionate. And therefore, my friendship circles are so diverse, from people on subsidized living, welfare, or subsidized housing to I'm very privileged to say that I have billionaires in my circle. And my friend, how I define friend is very different than you. I think anybody who's in my world is my friend. If I haven't cut them out because they no longer align ethically, and I think that's where my line is drawn in ethics. I have had friends that have done things that ethically I don't align with, and I wouldn't say that we're no longer friends, I would say that my trust has been ruptured and the friendship looks very different. So
Mhm.
maybe that's what an acquaintance
Yes,
is for
yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
However, I still find value in those friendships because, for example, I have a woman in my life who I admire in so many ways, and she is having an affair. And I have a really hard time being friends with someone who's having an affair. So I don't want that energy in my life. I don't want someone to think that it's not okay and yet it still continues in my life. And yet I'm learning from this person what I don't want, I'm drawing the line there. That is unacceptable for me. Is that a judgment? Yes, it is. It just doesn't fit my box. I don't want that conversation. I don't want that energy. I don't want that vibe. I don't want anybody in my circle that thinks that that's okay, regardless of what the situation is. I think if you want to get, and this is my opinion, if you're no longer going to be in a relationship, then don't be in the relationship, but don't have two relationships. And so I'm having a hard time. And actually, that friendship has come pretty much to an end. And then I have another girlfriend in my life that had the same situation, and they have ended that, and have been honest about it, and they are navigating it, and I have tremendous respect for that. So I'm learning from her too. And then I have friends that have blatantly lied or said things behind my back that are evil and wrong and denied it. I have forgiveness. If somebody has said something and I go to them and I say, this is what I heard. I just want to check with you first. I will never rely on the popper or whatever that saying is. I will check the direct source. And if that is true, then let's have a conversation about it. And if we can come to peace with it, I'm game, because nobody is perfect. If somebody's going to deny it and I have a real strong sense that it happened or there's some proof, then I just can't be friends with that person anymore. And I will be very honest in that situation. And then there's other situations where I've been in personal growth for so long and I find myself challenged, like, Mika, you're not better than anybody else. You're not better because you think different. You're not better because you've spent all this money. You're not better because of anything. And I find myself yet drifting away. And the reasons being is the conversations. That it's not intellect, it's the choice of conversations. I don't want to talk about that shit anymore. I've grown out of it. I want to talk about more than the weather or I don't want to talk about people.
Yeah.
I want to talk about where I'm going. And so I'm in the process of I've got a few ladies in my life that I don't have time for anymore. I love you. I'm going to love you from a distance. I don't have time to have that coffee. I don't have time for that walk. I don't have time for it because I don't want that taking up space in my beautiful brain. And that's hard.
And I think COVID did that. I think COVID made us think about what we really wanted, what really matters to us, because I feel like I saw myself not having certain conversations with friends and even family members and consciously decided, you know what?
That was okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I think I'm going to go in this direction. And I made my friend Caroline, we met during COVID, and I love her to death. Love her. And
More than me?
oh,
I
love you guys.
Mika just said, don't say that. Don't say you love somebody so much.
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
how about me?
I love you too. I love you
Okay,
too.
that's
You are
good.
you're 100% right. I love Caroline. I love you.
Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the values I share in my friendships, I think you touched on this, was I actually think it's a shared value to be able to disagree in a friendship. I think it doesn't mean that you have different values. You can have different thoughts about different entities or things going on in life, but the ability to come to disagreement respectfully, I feel, is a shared value, actually. So when we talk about shared values, it doesn't mean that your thoughts about the world are the same. It's that you're willing to have an open heart and be willing to hear what your friend has to say on a topic and just enjoy that different perspective. And I think that to me is a shared value in a friendship. And one of the questions I find myself with my girlfriends that I'm very close with is we've opened up now to asking each other questions about ourselves and what they see in us that they could, it's a perspective. So it's just seeing with a wider lens what they might wish for us, where they see us in pain, and how they think we can move through that. And opening yourself up to be so vulnerable to that question, it's a really powerful thing. And it requires a real trust, like one of you touched on. That trust is very, very important. So for me, that's another quality of a really great friendship. And I think like you, Mika, I'm starting to pay attention to where does the energy not feel so great. And it's not about, whether we agree or disagree. It's just about, I guess, what I call values and what you call ethics in some ways, is just those kind of things that we don't see eye to eye on anymore, or the energy doesn't feel good. And I measure a lot of how I feel at the end of a time with someone. If I'm driving home and I'm walking back, I'm thinking, how do I feel? And sometimes I'm just like on such a high, such a high. And there's other times where it's more, oh, that was, doesn't feel good. I didn't like what we talked about. It wasn't something that fueled me or lifted me or helped me learn or grow. And I don't have that demand of all my friends, of course, but I do pay attention to that pattern of how am I left feeling at the end of time with a friend or a group of friends. So I thought I'd add that in there.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's just so great. I learned that from a phone call. Like if you see somebody's name lighting up on your phone, what's the immediate feeling? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to this person. Or, oh, I really want to talk to this person for more than 3 minutes. So I'm going to call her back when I've got a coffee and I'm in my jammies. Or, oh gosh, I just don't, oh no, I'm not answering that. And that can be that gut reflex.
telling.
Yeah, that's very telling.
Is very telling. And you taught me about the driving away or the walking away part and how do I feel. And that's another, it's a beautiful, I love that. And I'm starting to notice that too.
Oh, cool.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the phone thing is a big notice. So how do you end a friendship, ladies? Like what?
Oh,
Because I think for our viewers, we can have 1,000 ways of what a friendship is. The tough part and the tough that I think they might want to learn from us that it's okay for them is how to end. And is it okay to end a friendship? If somebody is hurt, is that okay? Is that your fault? Or who takes responsibility? Does it matter? What are some of the ways to do it in an elegant way, if that's even possible? Is it fair? At what point do we draw the line? What is it costing us to keep that friendship versus what will we have room for if we have the courage to end it?
what a powerful question.
I think in my life, it just kind of fizzles away by itself. It wasn't a big, we're not going to be friends anymore, or, you kind of don't reach out as much because exactly what you were saying. You feel like every time they called or the phone rang, you didn't feel like answering. One of my team members called it, are they energy vampires?
Yeah.
Mihaela taught me that. And it's like, are they sucking the energy every time you guys are out? How much effort is that? And then you don't reach out as much. And I think gradually they get the point and it just kind of fizzles out. And sometimes it's distance, like you were saying, you move away, you don't see each other as much. That proximity has a big part. Just like relationships, long distance doesn't work for a reason. You're long distance. So that's the other reason friendships ends. And sometimes it's just an honest, I don't think it's going to work out. I don't feel like I am what you need. I think you need to go find another friend and leave it at that. Those are my top 3.
Yes. Fading out happens, like you say, quite naturally.
Yeah.
But it's the easy way out. So what if you have a friend who calls you out on it? And you said, oh, it's not you, it's me. I'm
Yeah.
not giving you what you need. But truly, I think truly in that sentence, it's they're not giving you what you need, or you'd fight for that friendship. You would want to be
That's
part of
true.
it. So
That's true.
I'm just wondering if any of us have an experience where we were called out. I have one I'll share, but
Sure, go for
don't
it.
let one of you take a
Yeah.
turn too.
No, go for it.
And you were about to say something, I think,
That was
Gurvinder.
exactly what you were going to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, I was called out, and actually, I respect the person. I really respect this person for having the courage to send me a long text followed up by a phone call. And out of that respect, I felt that she deserved an explanation. And so the explanation I had to think about, and I had to be honest. I wasn't going to say to her, oh, I don't think I'm really good for you, because that's not the truth. The truth was there was something in me that was desiring not an end to the friendship, but there was an obligation that had developed where I was feeling obliged to invite her to certain events. And that obligation was ending for me. Like, I wanted to put an end to it and really just go more from my heart and where I felt the sincerity and the truth in it. And I wasn't feeling the truth in it anymore. So I took my time and composed, because I'm also very kind-hearted and I'm not going to hurt someone. I really don't desire to hurt someone, but I had to be okay with being in my truth. And also at the same time, being okay with that person, however it landed for them, coming to a place where it's not my responsibility to manage that for them. So I picked up the phone. We had a phone conversation. And then after the phone conversation, I just explained my reasoning for why I wasn't feeling like I needed to invite them to a certain party. Right. So that's how it started. And so we had the phone call, but then there was another follow-up message that came to me. And now I felt like, okay, I need to be even more honest and really set the boundaries now. And so then in a long text message back, I did explain all of the reasons so she could read it at her leisure, revisit it, because sometimes when we receive something and the emotions are high, we may not receive it in the way it was intended, or it lands with us not in the way that it was sent. So when you get to revisit something, and I know I speak about this because it's happened to me, where initially I receive a message and I'm like, oh, that's terrible. That's horrible. I revisit it 4 days later. I'm like, oh, it was me that I misread that. I misread the tone.
Yeah.
I
I misread the intent.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have reacted. So, in writing, sometimes it offers that person the chance to sit and reflect. What has she really said to me here?
Yeah.
So that was difficult though. Yet I felt quite empowered after that, that I had stood in my truth and I had shared the true reasons why the obligation was ending.
And are you still friends?
We are acquaintances because we are part of a larger
Group of friends.
So I needed to just shift that more into the periphery, where in my heart is where it belonged. It wasn't part of my inner circle. And to honor the friends that are in my inner circle, there's just that sort of discernment and that energy that was being taken from me, and it wasn't in balance. And so just needed to shift to a different perimeter on the circle of friends. If you have any further questions, I'm happy to answer about it.
It jogged my memory. And I didn't know how to navigate friends when I lived in England on my own with my grandparents growing up. And I was a child who had no parents. And so
That's cute.
they didn't see my parents. So they're like, she's the one who doesn't have any parents. I had such a hard time making friends. And I was 7. I was 7 then. And I had a very hard time making friends after that. And then coming to a new country, hard time making friends. I had an accent, but I really tried. I really, really tried. And my friendships fizzled out. Everyone went to a different university or different countries. And when I came to Calgary, I made a bunch of friends, and I could have handled myself differently because we were not on the same wavelength. And now the advice I give to my girls is hapana hopano. I'm sorry. Thank you for listening. Please forgive me, and
I
I
love
love you.
you.
And that's where I will always begin. That's how I begun in the last 3 years with family members. I've never had to do it with friends, but I've used it with family members.
You mean when problem comes, you use that?
When anything arises, I will
Mm.
go to them with ho'opono ho'opono. I'm sorry. Thank you for listening. Please forgive me. And sorry, I said it in the wrong way. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you for listening. And I love you.
And I love you. Yeah.
Always ending with, I love you. And when I say that to the kids when, I've made a mistake, or when I say it to my siblings when I've made a mistake, my husband, the energy completely shifts. And because I've held them, I've essentially held them and validated everything that they were saying and just held them.
So I guess what Gurvinder is talking about is how to apologize, how to smoothen things out when things go wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what works. I like what Mika said about being more generous with your forgiveness and compassion. And we all make a mistake, and it's not. And I understand that. I struggle with that. It's okay to judge other people if they're not quite what you think they should be, but if it continues to be an issue, then I guess I should have clarified. That's what, like, I have a friend, and whenever I go away, they ask me for something. And most times it's okay, if it's something that I can bring or buy, but not if I'm on a time crunch, and it starts, and you feel bad because you want to be that good friend that does what's expected. But at the same time, if I'm going to Paris and I'm only going to be there 4 days and 5 days, and out of that 5 days, 4 days, I'm supposed to be working in a museum, it leaves me 1 day to myself.
Yeah.
So you kind of go, and so those kind of things. Or if a friend says something intentionally to hurt you or your family, and that can't be right.
Would you have the same conversation that Sandeep has had and I've had with that friend who expects you to bring something back?
I have a big problem doing that, Mika.
What would it look like if you did?
It would be very uncomfortable. Like,
Okay.
inside, I kind of shrivel up, and I think I discussed the same friend with Sandeep one time driving all the way to the car. It just I
Would you like to role model?
I was just going to
Role
say
play.
that.
Same.
You know I
Yeah,
would
we
not
are.
like to role play in case she's ever watching this podcast.
Yeah.
It's too late. You've already shared. So just call me Sandra.
With you, it's easy because I know I'm role playing.
Masa, I know that you're going to Paris, and I really want you to get me this Eiffel Tower thing with the diamond on top. And you're just such a great friend. I know you always get me things, and I know that it's not a big deal because they're everywhere. So would you just bring me back this Eiffel Tower thing with the diamond thing on the top?
Okay, she did it really good. She did it really good because she said exactly what's going on in
Who
my
are you talking
head.
to?
You did it really good. It's
Good.
nothing. It's simple. You're
Thank you.
going
Okay.
there
Yeah, so-
anyways.
Okay.
Can you do it, please?
No, I have a problem saying
Why
no.
not?
I don't know, because I feel like
Why
in
won't
a
you
way,
get it for me?
because I only have 1 day.
But they're everywhere. Like every shop has Eiffel Towers. It's Paris.
I guess at the end of the day, I don't feel like spending my 1 day looking for your little Eiffel Tower with diamonds on it or whatever it is you want.
You don't love me?
See, no, I do, but I just
You
don't
do?
want to do
Do you
it.
really love me? Does it mean that you don't love me, that you're not getting me, or does it just because you
I think
love
to
me
you
so
it means I
much?
don't love you. I think to you it means I don't love you.
Do you love me?
Yes.
Oh,
I do, but
really? Even if you don't get me something?
yeah.
Would you mind just reminding me that then so that I don't think that because you don't buy me something, you don't love me? Because it just reminds me of like my father. And, I know it's not your intention. It just feels that way sometimes. So if you could just remind me that I still love you, I'm not going to get it this time.
Okay, that's a good way. I still love you, but I'm not going to get it this time.
Oh, you still love me?
Yeah,
Okay.
but you're not getting it.
Oh, that's okay. Maybe next
Okay.
time.
Oh my God.
Maybe next time.
No, never.
Oh,
Never. I'm never going to do that again because that's another obligation we just talked about. No, it's an obligation. It's something that then I kind of feel where do you just love me because I'm getting you stuff when I'm
no, not
traveling?
at all. No, no, no. It's just, I feel like, you're there anyway, and it's so special, and I'm a little bit lonely, and when you get me something, it feels really good.
Well, I'm sorry. I just don't want to be the one person that makes you feel good.
Maybe if you got it as a surprise, it would feel good instead of an obligation.
I think my friends are a little less relentless than that.
I'm thinking, because maybe if you surprised me, then it wouldn't be an obligation, and maybe I'd be even happier because I'm learning not to ask for it. And then when I don't get it, I'm a little bit sad. But then the day that you actually do bring me something, oh my gosh, it'll be the best thing in the world because I wasn't expecting it. And maybe you'd feel really good getting it because you did it
Yeah.
on your own accord.
And those in the days of before when you could carry 2 suitcases, that's what I did. I always brought something for all my staff members, all my team members, all my friends. But now, when even in business class, you can only carry 1 suitcase and you're getting older and your back can't carry it as much.
I know you can't sacrifice your shoes for my little Eiffel Tower thing. I get it. Oh my gosh, how foolish of me. What was I thinking? I totally understand. Why didn't you just say so?
I'm going to say it from now on. It's tough to shove everything in that 1 suitcase or mail it or whatever it is that people
But
are
it doesn't
asking
mean that you
to.
don't love me.
No.
Oh, okay.
I love you, Mika. I just don't want to get you something and then drag it for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for being honest with me.
You're
I love
welcome.
you.
I guess I just got psychoanalyzed here.
That was hard to listen to.
It is, right? It is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard to
Because
come.
I'm thinking, I don't know that I'd have a friend like that in my inner circle. And that's what I was kind of thinking. I can't think of anyone that I call a friend that would put me through the ringer like that. Just really.
You mean I just put her through the ringer? Or
Yeah.
did I really?
Yes.
In a role play?
Yes.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
As you were mentioning.
No.
No.
As you were mentioning,
No.
there are people who do this to each other. That's what I'm
As an
saying.
actor, you
Yeah.
did very well.
You
Not
did
as a
that
real
very
human.
well. But that's exactly
Yeah.
the kind of energy that's being.
That's how you would feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
How you felt.
exactly. Yeah, it's exactly right.
You did a
So-
really good job
Oh,
stepping
thank
into that.
Well, that's what
role.
I'm saying. It
Oscar
was
award, right?
yeah, that really was good. It was exactly
Once
about
an
that.
actress,
The
always an
feelings-
actress.
Yeah, definitely.
The feelings that come out, everything, the obligation. What would I say to that? It was exactly that.
Do
Yeah.
any of us have a different answer? Like, how would you answer your own role-playing friend?
Yeah, really.
Well, the question that I have, please,
Okay, please,
before I
yes,
lose
yes.
my train of thought is, would the friendship, because if the friendship is on the line, it sounds like the friendship is on the line by removing yourself from the situation, because you can either have that honest conversation and make sure they know that you love them and this has nothing to do with it, versus then starting to avoid this person or get frustrated with this person, when ultimately, if it were me, I would recognize I'm really just frustrated with myself for not owning up to what's really going
Yeah.
on. And then the friendship suffers because I didn't own up. And that sucks.
And that's exactly right. I am frustrated with myself more than it is with the friend. And it's the people-pleasing part of me that over the years shows up a lot less, I'm happy to say. But it's still for people that I care about, I have a problem saying no and having that kind of honest discussion with. Because the first thing that pops in my head is I'm being difficult, I'm hurting their feeling, it's such a small thing, why am I making a big deal out of it? All of that goes on in my head. And you're right, I do have a problem facing that person and just saying it to them.
Does it go both ways?
I don't ask
If
because
somebody's really honest with you, if a
oh,
friend came and was really honest with you.
no, I would appreciate that. I would.
Me too.
Yeah,
How about
I
you?
would
Me too. Yeah,
appreciate
I
that.
would 100%.
I would see it as an act of service
Mhm.
because by pulling back, they don't get an opportunity to understand what dynamic and what their role is in it. We don't give them an opportunity to grow. We don't grow because we're not coming to face what it is in us that feels uncomfortable when we're put in that situation. So when we view that as an act of service to yourself and to the person with whom you're having the difficult conversation, I think that shifts the whole dynamic of what you're bringing to it and how they might perceive it. But again, your responsibility is not on how they perceive it. It's just maybe an offering it as an act of service and working through your own discomfort in that scenario.
I like that, thinking of it as an act of service and being okay with being uncomfortable,
Yeah.
which is something I don't like to feel.
No, I
I
think most of
rather
us
just
do
walk
not.
away than
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah.
If we're being honest, I don't think many of us, that's why it's
Absolutely.
discomfort
Yeah.
because it's not
Co-
something we move towards.
Discomfort. Get it, Massa? Discomfort. She never said it was cozy and happy.
I want to really acknowledge you for being willing to share that. I think there's a lot of women that can identify with what you just shared, myself included.
Mhm.
Myself included. I've had some extraordinarily challenging conversations with my mother,
Hmm.
and God bless her for forgiving me every single time, for not taking it. Well, she does take it personally, and I get it. And then I'm coming from a place where I'm convincing her that it's really on me. It's not on her. Please don't take it personally. And I have to make up for some stuff that comes flying out of my mouth. And that is being completely honest, though. The big thing is that just because I'm being honest doesn't make me right or the other person wrong. It's me sharing how I'm feeling right now. And if you'd said this to me a week ago or a week later, it might land different. But there's a series of events that happened this week or this month or this year, whatever it is, that this is showing up like this right now. And removing the blame from somebody else is, I think, the biggest part of having that honest conversation. And I need to take a drink of my own medicine with somebody that I'm thinking of right now that I have really started to block out of my life for no reason that's morally or ethically discharged. It's or whatever the word is. I'm feeling rubbed the wrong way multiple times, and so I've started to cut her out of my life. And people are like, "Where's so and so? How come so and so's not here? Didn't you invite so and so?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I get to have that conversation, and I get to look at myself and what is going on for me, because it's got nothing to do with them.
And that's the drink of medicine you're speaking about.
Yes.
It's
It's
good for
always
you, Mika, to even recognize that and become aware of it. Wow.
it's us for what we want to see in others or what we want to change in others is what we want to change within us. So having that conversation, I completely understand. It's like a mirror. Right?
Isn't that the truth? I think in one of the speeches, the I guess the Sufi master that I was going to was saying that when he was really young, he was sitting with his father, which at the time was the Sufi master, and the gentleman came in and started saying a story about why he was late and how his car broke down and everything, and the Sufi master's father was nodding his head and saying, "Yes, I understand, I agree." And when the gentleman who was telling the story left, the current Sufi master turns around to his father and say, "You know, that was all a lie. You recognized it." And the father said, "I never recognized such a thing. You would have to have the lie in you to see the lie in somebody else." So I every time when I feel somebody is being annoying or pretentious or jealous, I would say, "Wait a second, that I must have it in me." Like you were saying, it's the mirror of your
mirror.
soul.
Yeah.
Or why is that person in particular is irking me? So a lot of it, like Mika was saying, it's really not about the poor friends, it's about us.
That's right.
And how we're feeling that
Yes.
week, that month, the way that it would have landed differently if we were in a better mood. So I don't really know why I had to share that story, but if we are criticizing other people, maybe just whenever you're pointing a finger,
Yeah, 3 points.
three is pointing back at us.
What's pointing back?
Three fingers.
fingers more. Yeah.
Oh.
You're pointing at them.
Oh,
you got
yeah.
3 pointing at you.
Yeah. There's your
Oh,
1,
that's
2,
so
3.
good. How have I not heard that before?
Yeah, I just got it the other day. There's 3 of
Oh,
them
that's
pointing
so
at
good.
me.
I feel like the 3 are my family. Husband, daughter, son. There they are.
Can you relate? Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, we got a couple of minutes left. Who wants to share something fun?
Friendships are great.
Friendships are
They
fun.
I
Yeah.
think are blessed with friends in our lifetime, some for a
Yes.
few chapters, some for the entire,
Yeah.
multi-edition books of our life. And I think what we perceive as the difficult ones are really just probably the biggest lessons in our journey. And all are a blessing. All are a blessing. And I'm going to take away from this chat of ours to really look at the ones that I feel challenged by. Or why do I put them out in the periphery? Why have I placed them there? What are they there to show me about myself? So thank you, ladies. That's my takeaway.
How gorgeous. Oh my God.
Love it.
Our wise one
Mm.
today.
Today.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I don't want to be the wise
That's
one all the
good.
time.
Who's next? Not me.
When the kids come up and they talk about their friends, the message I got from my grandfather was, there is one for academics. There is one to socialize with. There's one to go out with. And there's one who's your athletic friend. And then there is the all-encompassing one.
Ooh.
And so I said to the girls, because they'd come home and like, "Oh, so-and-so is my best friend now. And so-and-so is my best friend. And I have this best friend." I'm like, "That's awesome." And then if something changed, I'm like, "Well, remember you have this one over here for this or this one here." So I started teaching the kids that there were just many.
What am I?
What do you mean, what are you?
And your
My
friends.
teacher.
Oh.
I teach her to put myself out there.
What an honor, Mika.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm digesting.
That's
Yes.
lovely.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
And just to
Wow.
look at everyone as an opportunity. Like, what can I learn from them? Is what I'm really trying to teach the girls. I know that one of mine is going through some friendship things right now. And just reminding her, like, what if it's not you that the person is saying things to? What if they're just using you to figure things out? What if, kiddo? And let's look at everyone and let's give them grace and send them
Compassion.
love anyway.
Yeah.
Something that I'm always saying. The girls are such different ages, and teenagers are going through this, and young adults are going through this. So I'm also learning from them at the same time, learning more from them too about friendship.
compassion came up for me.
Yeah.
To be compassionate,
Mhm.
understand that people are not perfect. That was amazing. And
That's our timer.
that's our time. So we don't go over.
Which we often do
No, we often do.
when we're in the flow.
Yeah. So compassion, I guess, guys, and the sense rubbing. There was an image I think I read somewhere. You rub against other people so that you're refined yourself.
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
where?
That again from the same
He
Sufi
is the
master.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like
Oh.
perfume. I see it as perfume.
Yeah. Right? You just
Yeah.
kind of put it out there.
your Sunday lessons are just
I go to
glorious for us.
I go to the mosque on Sunday so I can come up with these stories. No, God, no. I go there to better myself.
She goes there to do this.
I go there to say, oh my God, I'm sorry.
Thank you for that image. Woof.
That was
beautiful.
stunning.
Thank you.
That was stunning. Well, I am so grateful for the friends that I am here with, and you're all my teachers. I want to be the friends that I have in my life are there selfishly to help me become a better woman.
Mm.
Everything that I do with intention is to better myself, to give a better me to the world. And so when I have those women in my life that are rubbing me the wrong way, so to speak, they are a gift. They are a lesson. They are looking back at myself. They are teachers. And I'm in love right now with this conversation. And
Oh, me too.
thank you for listening.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for watching, for being here, for commenting, for just being here with us. We want to serve you. We think of what are the questions you might want to ask if you were sitting here, and we do our best to ask each other those questions, the difficult ones, and to be vulnerable with each other and with you, to hopefully role model for you that it's okay for you to be vulnerable. And if we don't ask questions that you have, please let us know those questions, and we'll find ways of slipping them into future episodes, we promise. Yeah, so
All
with
right,
that,
with that,
see you next time. Oh my God. The views shared on this podcast reflect our personal experiences and opinions. This content is not a substitute for professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert for any medical, legal, or mental health concern. If this conversation spoke to you, please follow the Ladies in Power podcast and leave us a review. Your voice helps more people find this sisterhood and these conversations. Together we rise. And remember, your voice matters here.